Welcome to week 4 of How to Be Your Best When Life Brings the Worst. In this series, I've put together 4 skills that are designed to help you be your best self as you go through difficult situations, even in the presence of unwanted thoughts and feelings. Now, while none of those skills are going to get rid of difficult emotions like sadness or anxiety, frustration or grief, they're designed to help you navigate through them, so that even if you're having unwanted thoughts or feelings, you can still make choices that help you become the best version of you. So far, we've learned a couple of pretty basic skills: breathing in a way that relaxes the body and engages the mind, and also using the feelings wheel to help us give names and make sense of the difficult feelings that we'd rather avoid. And again, these skills aren't going to help us feel better in the moment, but they're going to help us get through those challenging situations in a way that helps us look back on those moments and feel good about the kind of person that we were. The question I often hear from clients at this point is, really, that's it? Just breathe and acknowledge my feelings? Now what? Each of the next 2 skills, set your compass and take action, are going to answer that question of what to do once you've taken that moment to breathe, to calm the body, engage the mind, and to name the emotion you're experiencing. So let's start with today's skill, set your compass. This skill is a little more challenging, so I thought a good way to describe the skill and how to use it is to tell you a quick story about how I used this skill to handle a challenging situation recently that helped me be my best self. My oldest son recently turned 16, and like nearly every teenager, one of the first things he wanted to learn to do was drive. And just as I taught him how to shave or use a record player or make a grilled cheese sandwich, teaching my son to drive was another opportunity for me to live out some important values for me in the area of parenthood, namely being available, giving guidance, and making a difference in my children's lives. But I was initially hesitant to start driving with him because, along with having certain values as a parent, I also value my life. And as I thought about what it would be like to sit as a passenger while my excited 16-year-old son is driving our vehicle, my mind came up with all the ways that this situation could go wrong. And so for a couple of weeks after he started driving with others, I didn't offer to take him. My wife took him, his manager at work took him, he was practically asking strangers on the street to take him. But then he began to talk to me about what he was learning. And that's when it hit me. I was not being the kind of dad that he needed me to be, or the kind of dad that I wanted to be. I had an important decision to make. I could continue to avoid teaching my son how to drive, which would get rid of my anxiety, or I could take him driving, which would increase my anxiety, but help me be more like the dad that I wanted to be. And so I engaged in a little Q&A with myself, and my internal dialogue looked something like this. What kind of dad do you want to be? The kind of dad who helps his son to learn new skills. Can you help your son learn new skills while you're feeling anxious? I think so. Can you take that anxiety with you as you're being the kind of dad that you want to be? Probably. What step can you take to move you towards being the kind of dad you want to be? I could surprise him by offering to let him drive with me tonight. And that's what I did, complete with the cheesy, "Hey son, why don't you drive tonight" routine. And as I sat in the passenger seat with him, driving him to work that night, I was anxious, but I also was aware that I was being the kind of dad that I wanted to be. And then I also became aware that my son was growing, he was maturing, he was learning some important skills to help him become an independent and responsible adult. And as we drove the 10 minutes to work, while I'm feeling anxious and coaching him and encouraging him, offering him suggestions, something really powerful happened for me. That anxiety that I'd been so preoccupied with for the 2 weeks previous, that I was trying so hard to avoid, it slowly evaporated. And after we pulled into the parking lot, turned the car off, and the moment came that I would have missed if I wouldn't have taken him out. He turned to me, he gave me the keys and said, "Thanks, Dad." And my anxiety was gone. And in its place were other emotions that told me that I was proud of my son and proud of what I had done to be the kind of dad that I wanted to be. And in any challenging situation, I can ask myself a simple question. What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of trait do I possess that I can use right now, that I can draw on as I'm going through this hard time? It's like a compass we can use as a navigation tool that points us in the direction we want to go. Just like when we travel, we look maybe at a compass or a GPS to make sure that we're still on track and moving in the direction that we want to go. We can use this third skill, which I call set your compass, which means when you're facing a challenging situation, you can ask yourself, what direction do I want to go? What kind of person do I want to be? And just like the feelings wheel helped you identify specific feelings, the following list of values may help you clarify the kind of qualities you want to live by, especially when you're facing a challenging situation. A quick exercise to help clarify your values is to imagine you had a time machine and you could travel, let's say, 1 month from today, and look back and see how you're handling your current challenges more effectively. What would you see yourself doing that would reflect your values and show you being the kind of person that you want to be? Maybe if you're a parent, you'd see yourself being more patient or present with your children. Or if you value your health, you'd be taking more time to exercise or getting outdoors or eating in ways that are good for you. So I'd like you to take a moment and try the following 2 exercises. I'm going to put that list of values back up. In a moment, hit pause and write down the 3 traits that you're demonstrating right now, in this moment, as you're taking the time to watch this webinar. What does your desire to be your best self say about the kind of person you are being right now in this moment? Press pause on the video, list 3 values that you're living by right now, and then we'll continue. And here's the second exercise. Remember in the first webinar, I asked you to identify a situation that you'd like to handle better. Press pause, recall the situation that you've been working on or any other difficult challenge that you'd like to work on for a little while, and write down a few words from this list that reflect the kind of person that you want to be in this situation. So in the coming week, as you start each day, right after you wake up and before getting out of bed, take a moment to stretch. Take 5 breaths using the 4 in and out method. And do this until you notice your body is relaxed and your mind is engaged and paying attention to what's happening both inside you and around you. And then next, just acknowledge any emotions you're experiencing in that moment as you're lying in bed. And then finally, set your compass. Decide what kind of person you want to be in the next few moments as you get out of bed and start your day. What choices will you make? How will you treat yourself or others? What values will you live by as you begin your day? Another way to use this skill is throughout your day. When you're facing a challenging situation that you want to handle better, take a moment to breathe. Acknowledge any difficult feelings and ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be in this moment? Once you decide that, then you can decide which step you could take to help you move towards being that kind of person. So I hope this all goes well for you this week, that these skills are helping you stay relaxed, engaged, and thoughtful so that you can navigate through difficult situations more effectively. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.